I have been making YouTube videos for this channel for 6 years straight, every single week. And a lot of people are curious about what my process is, from coming up with video ideas to how I organize it in Notion to how I film and edit. So I thought I would do an all-in-one video where I share every single step of my process. So if you want to try it out, you can. It is a lot of steps, but it's something that I have refined and done over the years. And I wanted to share an updated version because I don't think I've done a video like this in quite a while. So let's just get into it, and I'll show you a little bit of my Notion setup as well, but let's just start kind of with how I'm using AI tools to help me do some research and figure out what I want to do videos on. Now, in the past, I would really focus on just coming up with ideas myself, which I still do. I still come up with ideas when I'm in the shower or on a walk, but I always like to now test them and see if it's something that would actually be worth making a video on. So there's a lot of great tools out there to see what people are searching for. YouTube itself is a great tool, but I also use tools like Claude and Gemini. In fact, I actually use Gemini more for specifically YouTube research for the main reason it's a Google product. Google also is connected to my YouTube channel, so it actually has a lot more data for what people are actually looking for when it comes to YouTube videos. So I would actually recommend using Gemini. I recently added a new notebook into Gemini, so it has all the information that I use. There's two things that I have as documents that I recently started using. One is all of my past video archive. I have an actual markdown file that exported from YouTube that basically lists all the videos that I've done, including how many views each got. So it kind of lets AI know which videos have done well on my channel. And then I also have a running list of ideas of videos that I want to do at some point. And this is in the hundreds. There's hundreds of ideas, lots and lots of different ones. A lot of them are updated versions of past videos. Some of them are super niche. Some of them are very broad. So I like to just have that as a list in case I'm like, okay, I need to make a video this week. Let's do something. What am I going to do? In addition, I recently found out that you can connect your YouTube channel to Google Search Console. In fact, almost 50% of my views on my channel come from search. So I was actually really surprised at what terms people were searching for that got people to my videos on YouTube. So that's another thing that I downloaded. I downloaded all the queries or all the things that people were Googling to find my channel. My channel is very much a search-based channel where people are looking for actual tutorials or things. A lot of times it's suggested videos from another video that's similar in topic. So for me, I really focus heavily on keywords, heavily on tags, heavily on all those things to get people to find me, because I'm not going viral for entertainment purposes. My videos are very informative and very educational and instructional. So that's a lot different than some of the other channels that I watch. So I try to plan a little bit in advance, but it's hard sometimes. Sometimes with my ADHD brain, I think of something maybe midweek and I'm like, I want to do a video on that next week. Sometimes I think, oh, I haven't done a video on this in a while, I should do that. So I do kind of let myself be decided the day of or the day that I'm doing it. And so I like to film personally on Mondays. So I'm actually filming this on a Monday morning because then my YouTube video and my Substack go out on Tuesdays. So that is my current schedule. I fortunately have a full-time business, so I can spend time on my channel. Sometimes people have to spend time on the weekends or whenever they have time to work on their channel. For me, I do it on Mondays. I edit the video immediately after I film it, and then I schedule it to go out on Tuesday. So I want to talk a little bit about how I do that in Notion next. I'll jump on over to that. Then I'll talk a little bit about the equipment that I use. All right, so a lot of people ask me about what equipment I use. Now, for YouTube, I use different equipment than I'm doing short form content. Okay guys, so this is kind of how I organize it in Notion now. This is using my Substack framework, which if you didn't know, I have a template for this, so you can actually download this yourself. It is on my website. I'll put the link below. But basically what I do is I have a list of upcoming ideas right here. So you can see here that I have different, statuses, but these are just ideas. I also have a markdown file, like just a straight up list that I also upload into Claude, but this is how I do it in Notion. So you can see here, if you open any of them up, I can start adding notes or I could create whatever I want, but I like to just have ideas here running. That is very helpful, and I can choose a publish date, that sort of thing. Over here, this is kind of what I've added. Is one of the things I've decided to do recently was I was like, what is the problem that this video is solving? So I actually created something called a problems database, which I actually recommend everyone do. So basically I'm like, okay, what are the problems that people have, especially around AI, ADHD, motivation, content, And you can see I have a ton of different things: home organization, content creation, products and apps, personal stories. So these are just things that people in general have problems with. And so every video that I come up with, I make sure that I link to a specific problem. So these are 2 different databases, and you can see it's related over to that database. Here I leave room for a publish date. Once it's done, I move it to here. So this is basically a list of all the past videos I've done. I need to move these into the 2026 one, but every time I move it over, it goes into this database. So I have a list of all the videos that I have done. I can also upload how many views it's gotten, that sort of thing. I mostly actually use that not in Notion, but in Claude with a markdown file, which is basically a text file that I upload there. Also on this, I have my project instructions, which is basically what I plug in over here in Notion AI. So if I wanted to start a new chat, you can see if you click personalize, you see right here, it's already clicking on that. So I can edit the instructions, but here I see what I want. Anytime I'm coming up with an idea, it will kind of work with this to help me come up with the idea and then add it into that database. But one of the things it also does is it helps work with my brand strategy. So I link to my brand strategy page to help me figure out all that. Same thing with social SEO and SSO for YouTube Shorts. I really think about the keywords, all that stuff. Some of these I need to relink because I deleted those pages. Title formulas. This helps me if I'm coming up with title ideas. This also is what I like to have is AI for real life. Is kind of one of the core themes of my channel. Here you can see I also have my running list of ideas, but this is just general, and I do have that again in a markdown file. I also did an analysis. I used Claude to do an analysis of my channel. So this was what it kind of gave me. This was on June 8th. So it's like, okay, here's your top videos. Here's what I recommend doing in terms of content. It's very helpful for me to do an analysis. And then I've got my YouTube video archive, which is just, I wonder if that's just a link over. This is literally a full export of what I did, and it's also available in Markdown. So it's different than actually the one that I have over here. It's the same thing, but different. So that is really all I do for my videos. But then what I do is I do like to write it out in Substack first. So then I'll go over to this tab, which then you can see here I have. So let me just give you an example. So this was one from June. It was moved over to the archive, and you can see here it links to a LinkedIn post that I created. It also has the published date, the status, and then here I actually did write out all of what was going to be put onto my Substack. So that's a way that I kind of draft that out, and then I can obviously copy and paste that over into Substack. So that is basically all I do in Notion. In Claude, I end up doing more of the actual setup. So let me head into Claude and I'll show you what I do there. So this is an example of how I use a transcript that I got from Whisper into Claude project instructions. So basically I asked it what would be a good title based off of this. So it gave me some ideas. I said like number 1 and number 6. And then I said, okay, write out my description and timestamps. So that's really great to kind of help me summarize. And then I actually have a setup. I'm going to be updating this, but I have a setup description in my YouTube of what I have in every video. It also gave me the timestamps. And then I also asked it to do tags. It created, I have a rule that it has to be under 500 characters. And then that's kind of how I start out the YouTube video. So if I go to my project instructions, you can see here that I have all of the description of what I want. And it uses a lot of yes, no, do this, don't do that. It's very, very descriptive I really focus specifically on helping myself be as optimized as possible from SEO perspective. So the camera that I'm filming on right now is the Canon RV, which is a video version of their R series. I just got this last year and I really enjoy it. It is a mirrorless camera. It was about, I think like $700 or $800. And I think it was a good investment. I hadn't gotten a new camera since about 2015. So it was definitely time for an upgrade. And I do have a mic. It's not actually plugged in right now, but I do have a separate mic and a ring light that I used to have super big lights. I recommend not having those anymore. Sometimes I do color correction in post, but I really don't have a ton of equipment. I just have a basic tripod and then that's it for my video stuff. I just have the basic lens camera. For video filming for social, On my phone, I have Rode mics, which I really like using. I have things like this, which is you can clamp your phone on. So I have different equipment for YouTube versus my phone, but for YouTube, I do film on a DSLR just because I don't know, it's just like nicer equipment and something that I've always done. I try to keep it as simple as possible. In fact, I've gotten rid of a lot of my video equipment because I felt like it was overkill. People just really want to see the information and not always have to have the latest and greatest everything. I'm much more a fan of just getting to the point and showing you exactly what you need. All right, and then finally for editing and thumbnails, those are kind of the two last pieces. For editing, I actually switched about 2 years ago to using CapCut Pro on my computer. I really like CapCut. I think they keep raising the prices though, which is very annoying, but I do love their editing. I think that they have really great features. It's very easy to use. They have great templates. They have great text to use. I, for a long time, was using Final Cut Pro 10, but they've just honestly fallen out over the years. I feel like they haven't really upgraded to a lot of the stuff that now you can do with stuff like CapCut. So I switched to CapCut. Again, it's $20 a month for me, but I use it with clients. I use it all the time. And so for me, it's worth it. And more recently, you may have noticed on my channel, I redid all of my thumbnails. I, for a long time, used Canva to make thumbnails, but they were really bad. I'm not a thumbnail designer. I'm not a graphic designer. So I have outsourced this part to ChatGPT. Specifically Chat, not Claude, not Gemini. I found that Chat has the best thumbnail creator, and I also created a really detailed description of what my thumbnail should look like with the color palette, the way that it looks, so it doesn't look as AI as some of the thumbnails I've seen. And then another thing you can also do is if you don't want it to actually look like it's AI, you can move it into Canva and then just have a template and then upload it from there. So that way you can make changes on your own. It's an option that you can have as well. So that is how I upload my thumbnails. I will upload that. That's the very last step of the process. What I usually do is I take a photo of myself on my phone for the thumbnail, and then I send it to my computer, upload that into my thumbnail creator, and it will kind of make an amazing thumbnail for me. I am not a great thumbnail creator. I have never hired anyone to do my thumbnails. I always did them myself. So this is a way to make them look nicer, but still doing it myself. And that's kind of what I decided to end up doing. And here's some before and afters, because truly I needed help. It's still a photo of me. It's not a fake version of me. All it does is it kind of made it look a little bit nicer and have the text and photos be a little bit more clickable. So that's really the biggest thing for me. When it comes to my description, I also have a YouTube project instructions for after I edit the video. I use a software called Whisper Transcription to get the entire transcript of the video. I don't really script my videos at all. I just come up with them off the top of my head. Literally, I'm talking to the camera. I have absolutely no script. I'm just kind of coming up with it as I go. I kind of in my head kind of mentally figure out what I want to say, but I do not have a script at all. It is something that I've never done before. I'm very good at talking off the cuff, and so I will cut anything that makes sense or that I don't want to add. But as I export it, I will use Whisper Transcription, which costs about $20 a year which I really enjoy. I will make that transcript, pop that into a Claude project. That will give me my timestamps, my description, and my tags, which is really helpful because that always took me so long to figure out. I had to go and manually figure out my timestamps, and now it just takes a few seconds and it saves me so much time, and I'm able to get my videos up much faster. This is the kind of manual stuff that AI I think should be working on because it saves me so much time on stuff that really doesn't matter in terms of no matter if a machine or I did it, it still has to get done, and it really isn't that special that AI is doing it. It's just helping me speed up my process. So that really helps me with timestamps, which helps with SEO, which helps with search. And then as I'm uploading, I also add an end slate. I add all of the different features on YouTube, and then I usually schedule it to go out Tuesday in the morning. Then what I do is I also create a Substack post based off of the YouTube video. I can add other posts as well. That usually takes a little bit of time to put together. Usually I'm also promoting one of my workshops in my Substack. So my Substack does take some time to work on and figure out and make sure everything's working. And then I schedule that as well. So those usually go out around the same time on Tuesday morning. Then I have to promote my Substack. So I make content on LinkedIn and Instagram and TikTok being like, hey guys, I have a new Substack out, because really my goal is not to grow my channel, but it's to grow my Substack, and my channel is sending people to my Substack. My Substack is where I monetize. It's also where I just like having an email list. I think it's a really great place to be, and I absolutely love growing on Substack, and I've done a few videos on that, so if you want to learn more about Substack, you can. So that is how I have set up my YouTube channel. It's a lot of different steps, truly, but I will say AI has made it easier. But it doesn't eliminate all the steps. I still have to do all of the manual things of coming up with the idea, filming, editing. I still do all that myself. I do not outsource that to AI. The only things I outsource to AI are some of the research and some of the manual uploads and the thumbnails. That's it. I don't have it write an outline for me or a script. I don't have it edit for me. I don't have any of that stuff. So it's kind of a mix for me on what I use AI for within my process and what I don't. And so it's a kind of a healthy mix in my opinion. And again, some people are fully AI and that's all they do. And I'm like, good for you, I guess. Then there's people who are like, I will not touch it. I think there's kind of a spectrum. I'm kind of in the middle. I will use it for some things, I won't use it for others. And it's something that, again, it's helping me get these videos out faster so then I can work on other things and then move on with my day. Because I see YouTube as an additional thing to my business. It's not my full-time job. I do it for fun, but also to grow my brand. I do it to help educate, and the goal eventually would be to make it more of a passive income thing for me. I do make some money on YouTube. I make between $50 and $100 a month, but it's obviously not livable wages, but it is nice to get some money from past videos. Most of that content comes from videos I've done years ago, which is crazy. So anytime I put out a video, I am thinking about monetization and how many people are gonna see it. So I do think about impact, and that has changed and evolved even more recently. So one of the things I try to do is figure out, okay, what are videos that people are searching for but don't have a lot of video clicks on, or there's not a lot of options. I definitely try to fill those needs and fill those niches. So that's also very, very helpful as you're kind of planning your content. I would say my biggest recommendation is make content that people are looking for, because if you're just making content that is just something you want to do, might not work as well, especially when you're trying to grow your channel. Always focus on your audience and what they want to see. And for me, I found that what people are looking for and searching for, I'm trying to come up with videos that answer those questions. So anyways, I hope this video is helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions or if you want me to do another version of this video, because I would love to share more about my process. This is something that I do every single week, so it's something that I've really, really narrowed down, and it's something that I think is something that a lot of people haven't really gotten into, especially if you haven't started your YouTube channel yet and are just getting started. So I just thought I'd share, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Make sure to subscribe and follow my Substack, because I tell a lot more on there, and there's lots of monthly workshops and things to go to. So hope you guys check that out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.